Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay.
I like these little lapel mics. They're so
chill out. I've never had this before at a convention. Just a couch.
Am I working?
Need like a.
This is the first panel I have not just sat at a table and just been like, oh, here we go.
All the chairs are so uncomfortable at panels usually, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, you can't.
But now I can just, I might fall asleep.
I feel like I'm on the Ellen show or something. I feel like we're about to be interviewed, like somebody's gonna just phase through the wall. Hi and welcome to Ellen.
Or Oprah.
Right, Oprah. Look under your chairs. There's nothing under your chairs, I'm sorry.
Damn it.
So would you like to...
So, yeah, introductions, I guess. I'm xTheDarkOne. I do voice acting on the internet, which is a thing, apparently.
Look at them.
I'm going to look at them,
I
guys.
know who you are.
I'll look at the audience. Hi. I've not really done any pony-related... The only pony video I ever actually did was the book promo where I played various guards and... all the sort of northern guards voices that you heard in that promo was probably me. It's like, oh, me bones. I also know I was inspiration for several of the button mash skits, like the ice cream challenge and whatever.
That was us.
That was me and my friend Osagi. We decided to have
it was us.
Was it us?
Yeah, it was me and you.
No, it was me and Osagi.
It was me and you, man.
Whatever. Okay.
That's what he told us. He told us it was us.
He did, yeah. But that's literally my only contribution to the pony fandom at the moment, which is sucks because I'd like to do more, but I mainly do, like I say, abridging of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX and hey, one person. I've also been abridged stuff. Who's there familiar with abridging in general? Like, yeah. Oh, good. I've been in several abridges, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridges.
As soon as you say Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge, I just want you to see I just want to see Jaden going, baller! That one episode. That's the only line he got, and that was fantastic.
But yeah, that's me essentially. I'm a pretty chill, laid back kind of guy.
Okay, well, I'm Lady Nanaki. You might know me, you might not know me, but I do things on the internet also, mainly for abridged series such as Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I've done Blair Britannia.
Never heard of that. What's that?
Don't know.
Sounds rubbish.
It does sound rubbish. Yeah. I've done a couple of pony stuff. Anybody watch Camaraderie Supernatural?
Oh.
I've seen a couple of nods. That's all right.
That's enough to talk about it.
You can raise your hand and let yourself be known.
Oh, you have a hat. So you've seen it? Yes. I was Diamond Tiara in that, and I've also the current voice of Britannia. So. Yay!
Say it. Say the line.
Which one?
The freedom line.
Ponies, bonny freedom, come all ye!
Tell about your art first and your story.
My art, yeah, I'm also an artist. I do mostly pony stuff, and my stuff is for sale on the guest, table. I have many pictures, including a Luna one. We all know you love Luna. Go get it.
Yeah.
Go get that.
Everybody loves Luna.
Exactly. Exactly.
Luna love.
Go.
Well, all right, guys. I'm known online as MassakoX. Yeah, I'm basically, as you can tell from the T-shirt, I voice act in Team 4 Star's Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
That's the one where I pretty much just say muffin button a lot. So I play Goku and Gohan in that one.
And as well as doing various other voice acting stuff online, as well as playing several characters in the book promo, and actually reviewing my own stuff online on my anime review site, so I've been picking that up again. As well as, Hellsing. Who here has watched Hellsing Ultimate Abridged?
Yeah, literally last night.
Bitches love cannons.
Yeah, I was just keeping this PG, but yeah, I echo that sentiment. But yeah, in that one I just play Hair Doctor. So basically just playing the assistant to the main guys of the Nazis. Oh, so many. Yeah, so just loads of various things, and probably just loads of different abridged products or anything involving Screw Attack or Channel Awesome. But yeah. Now on to this fine gent, which I'm pretty sure you're all keen to see.
No, not a clue who he is.
My name is...
He just came and sat with us.
My name is Mike the Microphone. I'm actually a voice actor by trade, although most people know me for my music. And just recently, I've actually been able to officially say that I'm a professional voice actor because I am heavily involved in the industry to such a point that I could be working with Cartoon Network in the next couple months. I'm really excited about that, and not only that, but I've also been involved in a couple of animation deals. I played myself in the Buck promo. I'm Dr. Atmosphere in the animated Rainbow Factory movie that's going to be coming out soon. Yeah, no, that's going to be good. And just on top of that, I've also been doing, there's a project that's not been released, but it's actually going public now, and it's the story of Capulet, and I managed to get the lead role in that, among other things. And I've also been doing various video game bits here and there too. So yeah, that's what I do.
So that's it. That was the introduction. The panel's over now. Actually, it's just the back there. Well, I suppose we should just
open it to Q&A.
Yeah, Q&A.
So if you have a question, just raise your hand. Go ahead. Yes.
If there's any like abridged stuff that you haven't been involved with, or any official things that you would like to do, which would they be? Like, if any past cartoons or anything you think might be coming up, which would you like to be involved with?
Are we talking like professional work or just like community work?
Yes, why not?
Just a bit of both. Personally speaking, I think that if there's one thing that I would actually love to be involved with at some point in the near future, it would be regular show, hands down.
Yeah.
Because I mean, hey, look, I know people love Adventure Time, but J.G. Quintel is absolutely hysterical. I love regular shows animation style, and if I ever got to be involved with that in some way, shape, or form, I would probably die. I would literally just drop dead.
Can you do an O?
Huh? As for community work, the abridged series probably is one thing that I'd love to be involved with, if anything, just because I've been watching that stuff for literally years. And the fact that I'm sitting next to Goku actually kind of shocked me because I didn't know who you were until you said that. So when he said that, I was like, oh, crap. So, I'm kind of trying to contain myself here because this is a big deal for me.
You're just going to go behind somewhere and
I'm just going to be like, hi, can you want to,
like, oh my God.
get my dream sorted out here?
Well, that's the thing, really. Yeah, so with Team 4 Star, it's like, not many people would expect, me to be here. But again, it's just like I'm the brony guy in the community, in that group. So
I didn't even know that. That's why I was caught off guard.
No, it's just like not a lot of people do, and it was just like I was offered to come to to Buck last year, and it was like I got the invitation. It was like, cool. I've not really done much in the community, but
cool.
Yeah. Okay.
That was more or less my reaction for this year. It's just like, oh yeah, we want to know about you. Cool, yeah. And then eventually it's like, oh, it's because Masako said, oh, right, it makes more sense.
A little bit different. That's how I was with BronyCon with Buck. I just kind of sat there in disbelief for about 20 minutes. I didn't really move much, and I just kind of went, are you kidding me? Like me? Why? No, but for real, like the fact that I'm here in the UK is still kind of baffling. I don't feel like I am. No, who am I kidding? I'm jet lagged as hell. Of course I feel like
Someone throw the Union Jack at him. Just remind him.
That's all right. I've already been buried under Kinder Eggs and Jaffa Cakes this weekend, so.
Pasties! Throw pasties at him.
So it was funny. I actually got a bag of Kinder Eggs, and they said you have to eat these before you go through customs, otherwise they'll be seized.
A couple of years ago,
last year.
Last year at LAC. Any of you know who Caitlin Glass is? She attended a London Anime Con, and she was like, we invited her out to Nando's, and we were just talking and hanging out and stuff, and we were like, I was like, you've never had you don't have Kinder Egg up there? She's like, Kinder Egg? What is Kinder Egg? I'm like, Kinder Egg it's like a chocolate surprise with a toy in the middle. I was like, I'll get you some.
For anyone who doesn't know, Kinder Egg is actually banned in America because it's too unsafe for kids.
You can't. It's not like you can't have food. You can't have food that has something inside it because an American would eat a Kinder Egg whole.
Seriously.
It sounds like it implies that somebody.
You're laughing though, but it's true. That's the sad part. Because I am one of the people who did that. I'm not joking. I choked on a toy.
You're not. No, mate, no.
He's part of the problem.
Let me explain. Okay, so I've only been to the UK one other time ever, and it was in 2010. And the first time I was here, they're like, "Have you ever had a Kinder Egg?" I'm like, "What's a Kinder Egg?" And I'm used to Cadbury eggs where I come from. And so
Right.
Cadbury eggs, it's like this thick chocolate egg with like caramel or cream or something.
We got cream egg.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's like I looked at the Kinder Egg and I'm just like, oh, and I just popped the whole thing in my mouth and I swallowed. Like, what is this? And they're like, you did not eat the whole damn thing.
Did you not wonder what like the rattling was when you're like, oh, it's an instrument as well. It's amazing.
I didn't shake it. Who shakes their food before eating it? Also, fun fact, apparently Kinder Eggs are the most seized item at Borders, only second to, or actually no, not second at all, second being Cuban cigars. Kinder Eggs are more seized than Cuban cigars.
Oh, brilliant.
You get more out of a Kinder Egg than cigars, I'll say that much.
Right? I want there to be like an underground like black market for Kinder Eggs in America. I want to like go down and just like, hey kid, you want some Kinder Egg?
I got you a surprise.
The guy walks up to you in a trench coat.
That's a different kind of salesman, that.
I can see it now. Shady man walks up to you in a trench coat in a back alley, calls you over, and he just goes, "You want to see the surprise inside?"
What do you want? I got princesses or Hot Wheels.
Would you like the holiday set?
Limited edition. You can't get this anywhere else, stranger.
What are you buying?
What are you buying? What are you selling?
At a high price.
No joke. Favorite game.
We are still answering a question here, aren't
Yeah,
we?
it's actually Masako's turn.
Oh, but yeah. So your turn.
Yeah.
No, well, so, okay, who's got a question over here?
Yeah.
Okay, chap in the front.
Hi. I was wondering if you had any advice for voice actors, people like myself who have recording equipment at home in a studio, and if you wanted to approach an agent and you weren't sure how to build your own, like demo your own, do you keep...
Don't approach an agent.
Like,
Not now. Not at this stage in your career. If you have equipment, that's fine. But right now, you need to focus on building yourself up and building up a product before you go anywhere near an agent. The biggest piece of advice I can give to anybody who wants to do voice acting is, first off, this is one of the most competitive industries in the world. Same with music. If you want to go into an industry like this, you have to be competitive, you have to have the talent for it, and moreover, you have to be willing to wade through some crap. Because you're going to be going up against a lot of people. You're going to be going up against people like me, him, all the people on this couch.
We're gonna stab you as you go out, actually, just to make sure you can't use our advice against us.
And so the biggest piece of advice I can personally give is put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to screw up. Be willing to take the brunt of the bad criticism that you're going to get from people. Be willing to deal with the trolls and stuff like that, and build up your vocal range. Experiment. Find ways that you can expand that range. And more importantly, don't be afraid to work outside your comfort zone. Because they call it a comfort zone because you're fine with being there. You don't want to be fine with being there. So the best advice I can give, put yourself out there and really work outside your comfort zone and try to expand what it is you can do. Also, take theater. Do not just go into doing this thinking, oh, it's all about making funny voices. No, the core of voice acting is acting. And that's a big thing, and you can see I'm getting a little bit heated about this because I've had a lot of people who are just like, I can make funny voices. Yes, so can I, but can you act? That's the big question. So if you're in high school or college or something like that, look for theater classes, theater groups even, just in your local area.
I'll say something that I've actually done. I was telling you I run 2 jobs now. Well, one of them's my full-time job is a Monday to Friday job that's just catering. But the second job is something because I don't really have time for school. So I've got a job now. Which anyone ever heard of the Pasos del Terror in Blackpool?
Oh yeah.
It's like this horror maze thing, and I basically work there every Saturday now. And it's a bit of extra money, but it's also a great opportunity for acting experience, especially the ones that require me to interact with people. So if you're like me and you don't have time for school or something, I would recommend maybe finding something else like that you can do, because that's the closest I've come to being a professional actor, is that's just something I do now. But that's what I do now. I mean, if you can't do school like I can, but yeah.
Well, and also with the holidays coming up too, like it's a prime opportunity to get in on like some horror-based theater that's going to be released locally, or even haunted houses are a great way to practice that, because part of acting too is body language, and that can help really accentuate your voice. Like one thing that I love, have you guys ever seen the actual like footage of the voice actors from BioShock Infinite of Elizabeth and Booker actually going back and forth with their lines?
No.
Haven't seen that, no.
They are legitimately acting when they do it. They're moving their bodies when they act. They're actually freely interacting with each other. And that's the thing. A lot of voice actors do that. They do the body movements because it helps them accentuate what they're trying to do. It helps with their delivery of it. It makes it more authentic.
I do that a lot as well.
Yeah.
Problem is, I sometimes do it so much I go away from the microphone. So it's like, that's a great take, but you moved away from the microphone. It's like, oh. Yeah.
Well, are you using a condenser? Well, that's a question for later.
Well, we have for GXTheBridge, we actually do a behind the booth. So if you we have every episode we recorded ourselves doing the line. So there's an episode, and then afterwards we will post like the episode, but then it will show us recording the line. So we did that so people could watch stuff like how we perform and do the lines and stuff like that.
So you'll always find that if you're asked to do a happy line, if you're just saying it like this, oh yeah, I'm so excited, it doesn't come out happy, you need to be happy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited!
You need to act happy to be.
Otherwise it just won't
seem
work.
happy.
You know, so don't be afraid to, when you're behind the mic, go a bit crazy. If you're being told you have to swing a sword when you're voicing it, swing a friggin' sword, man, whilst you're doing it. It's the only way you're going to get the right kind of voice.
Just don't hit the mic.
Yeah.
Have zero shame.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice, zero shame. Because when you deal away with all of the shame that you have about, oh, I don't want to look silly, I don't want to look like a dork behind the mic, who cares?
I'm going to just say, he's walked around Manchester with a little fan on his cap. This guy has got no shame.
Right?
But that's good. I'm just like you in a new age. High five me right now. High five.
High five.
You know what that is?
There you go. There you go. But yeah, just, don't be ashamed to look like a goofball behind the camera.
So, is there any other...
do you have any? Wait, do you have any?
Really?
Wait.
Well,
sorry.
Well, again, really, it's just like the most important thing to do is just, as you said, not do this for the wrong reasons, but do it because you enjoy it.
Oh, can I go over that again?
Yeah.
Can I tell them that? Yeah. Big thing, and this is something that I heard from a buddy of mine, and this is the truest statement in the world. There are 3 things you need to know, 3 things that you should not do if you want to be, I'm sorry. There's 1 reason why you should be an entertainer or a voice actor, and then there are 3 reasons why you shouldn't. And those 3 reasons are this. If you're doing it to get popular, don't. People are going to hate your guts no matter what you do, because that is just the fact of the matter. The more exposure you get, the more people are going to hate you, and they don't even need a reason to hate you. They're just going to hate you. Second, if you're doing it to get wealthy, don't. There are much more lucrative means to getting wealthy, and they call them starving artists because they can't afford to eat. So don't do it if you're trying to get wealthy. Start a business. Create a product that people really want, because you will make way more money doing that than being an entertainer, a voice actor, a musician, what have you. That also kind of ties into the final reason why you shouldn't do it. And that is to get recognition from people, because unless you have a significant amount of talent, you won't get recognized for anything. Because again, this is a competitive industry where you're going up against a lot of people, and the only reason you should ever do this is because you love what you do unconditionally. You are willing to wade through that. You are willing to, go to bed with not a lot of money in your account, with no food on your table, and you're willing to wade through that because you know in your heart this is going to be worth it.
If you wake up every morning and think, I want to make every person I meet smile, you've probably got it in you to be an entertainer.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So that's what it's about. That is what
if you wake up every morning and think, I want to stab everyone, then you might need to see someone, because that's not quite entertaining to others.
Yeah, so...
So you had a question, and we kind of cut you off.
I was saying, what voice actors inspired, or actors in general, what ones of them inspired you the most?
For voice acting, my favourite voice actor, and I don't know why, is Tom Kane. Anyone know Tom Kane? He's I think he does a lot of Star Wars stuff, but he voices Monkey Fist in Kim Possible, Darwin in Wild Thornberries, a professor in Powerpuff Girls, Mojo Jojo.
And
don't know why, I love...
SpongeBob.
You what?
He's SpongeBob.
No, that's Tom Kennedy.
That's Tom Kenny.
Oh, Masako, But
Tom Kenny was in Powerpuff Girls.
he was, yes.
No, what isn't Tom Kenny in? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. He's the male equivalent of Tara Strong, in my opinion.
Oh, is it?
He's
on My Little Pony. He's also Ice King.
It will be.
As far as actual actors go, like actual actors, I'd say Nick Frost. Just because, just like me, before he did Spaced, he'd never. Well, that's one reason, but this is what I'll explain. He never did any kind of acting school before going to Spaced. He sort of did a bit of like acting school with, but in stand-up, but he never actually did any acting school. He was just friends with Simon Pegg, and he got on Spaced that way, and he's developed his skills like that, and he's just proof that like no matter how you sort of look, you can act. You can act, and you can actually make. He's a great inspiration to me personally because a lot of people go, "Oh, you like Nick Frost?" I'm like, "Ah." Nick Frost is actually a very good actor, and people recognise him for being a great actor. So yeah, I kind of like that you compare me to Nick Frost. And but yeah, those are probably my two biggest inspirations in voice and physical acting myself.
I think a voice actor that I truly admire, it might seem kind of generic to everybody, but is Travis Willingham. I absolutely love the guy. Every single thing he does, I adore it. And not because I have a slight girly crush on him, but because he is fantastic in everything he does. And I haven't watched a single thing that I haven't loved him doing. So like, as for actors go, again, Nick Frost. Pretty much for the same reason. I can't watch the guy and not be like, wow. Because you have done that. You're a big guy, but you're not afraid to go around, make people laugh. And for goodness sake, Cuban Fury, he dances like an absolute idiot, but he overcomes something that I really suffer with, which is paranoia. I'm not very good with paranoia and self-consciousness, but I watched that and I was truly inspired by it. So I think he's fantastic.
Who's seen Cuban Fury? No one's seen Cuban Fury?
Oh, I've heard of it.
Go see Cuban Fury. If you love Nick Frost, you'll go see Cuban Fury.
It's fantastic. we all started watching it like, nah, it might not be that great, but in the end, I almost cried at some points of it. It's brilliant.
Let's go.
Well, in terms of voice actors, I mean, as I voice Goku in DBZ Abridged, I have to give big respect to the guy Sean Schemmel who actually voices Goku.
That guy doesn't want.
It's true though. It's not just because he voices the character. It's because, yeah, the fact that he has such a strong lung capacity. He's able to scream.
He voices Crowler too.
When you're screaming for 45 seconds, you kind of have to have good lung capacity.
I mean, it's just the way he's developed. I mean, I remember I saw the early dub, and it was good. But then you go back and when you go through Dragon Ball Kai, and then it's just like, oh my God, he's really, really improved. It sounds so raw and full of rage. It's just commands so much power and respect. It's just wow.
You voiced Crowler too.
Yeah, every voice is Crowler. and then you go from that, and then
you gotta love it, haven't you? He voices Goku and then Crowler from GX. It's just like what?
And then in terms of stage actors and film actors, there are two that spring to mind. There's like there's Idris Elba, who's basically after Luther, and then seeing him, I really started to kind of really gain momentum when I saw Pacific Rim. Because just like, 1, don't you ever touch me again. And 2, don't you ever touch me again. Just the fact, and then it just...
He just oozes
just being
cool.
the commander of the Shatter Dome. I mean, wow. And then just seeing him in all these other things, and then again seeing him in Thor. Just saying, I don't know, it's just he commands so much presence, it's just amazing. And then again, I would have to think Benedict Cumberbatch. I mean, that guy. Just seeing him, because I saw him as Khan in Star Trek before I saw him in Sherlock. But I saw him in Sherlock, but I was thinking, oh my God, his voice is incredible. And the fact is, he can contort his mouth into so many twisted grins and smiles and smirks. It's just incredible. And I love the fact he's just a big troll.
Yeah.
He's such a big troll. He knows how to play the internet. And I saw him one time on like a Japanese talk show, and he can see all the comments that were going behind, because in Japanese TV, if they have anything to do with the internet, they have the comments just scrolling behind them or on TV.
It's like a Twitter feed.
And he was just like saying, I want them to like say this one thing, and then 6 seconds later, bam, it's on there. He knows how to play it. So those two guys are they're real inspirations.
How about you, Mike?
Voice acting, honest to God, Patrick Warburton.
Yeah.
Voice act, and the reason being is because he was one of the first voice actors whose name I actually knew, and second because what I like about him is he does the one distinct voice, and yet he can take that voice and make it into 1,000 different characters, and that is the sign of one hell of a talented voice actor and actor in general. And that's what I admire most about him. It's just little fluctuations in voice, little differences in delivery of words, and that can make the difference. And that's such an important element that I think a lot of people forget about that. And that's why I admire him so much, is because he can take that one voice and make it into so many different characters. As for actors, one of my favorite ones doesn't even speak, and his name is Doug Jones. And for those of you who don't know who Doug Jones, you know him as the eye creature in Pan's Labyrinth. You know him as Billy the Zombie in Hocus Pocus. You know him as the dude who did the amphibian character in Hellboy. He actually didn't speak. That was all a voiceover from a different person. He just did the suit acting.
Yeah, that was thingy, wasn't it?
And what I love about him is, like, he is one of the most successful and just overall prolific actors in the industry, and nobody knows who he is. And that's what I love about him. And then the other one that I really like is Hugh Laurie. And I love him just because I had no idea he was British. Like, that's impressive. Yeah. That's impressive when you have that thick an accent and then all of a sudden, you sound exactly like an American.
It was good. That.
So yeah, there you go.
He's a great actor. Bit of Fry and Laurie, a bit of Fry and Laurie.
Great show.
Oh, brilliant show. Who's a fan of a bit of Fry and Laurie? Woo! Yes. Fantastic. You've had your hand up for quite a while.
A quick one from Mike. You said you're going to be involved in some kind of Cartoon Network show. Can you tell us what it is?
I know. I said I might be working with Cartoon Network. I'm in talks with them right now about submitting my demo reel.
All right. Good luck.
So,
okay.
Yeah. If I was involved with something Cartoon Network related, I sure as hell wouldn't be able to mention it here.
Yeah, this is one of the things in the voice acting industry. You have the dreaded NDA, non-disclosure agreement. So really, you can either confirm, you can't confirm or deny something, and you can't even hint, because no clues and none.
That's why half the stuff that I actually am currently involved in, I've only been able to discuss a handful of it. Like the video game stuff that I'm doing, I think about a month ago was able to talk about it, and I'm in this Oculus Rift game called Private Eye that's going to be released later.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I actually got 2 lead roles in that, which was intense, because I did not expect that. And then the other thing that I'm doing just recently went public, like not but a week ago, and it's called I Am Capulet. And that I'm playing the lead character in named Capulet, honestly, and he's this bratty little 15-year-old prince, and I'm absolutely stoked because I'm swearing a lot.
All right, any other, got quite a few. Someone else can pick. I feel too pressured.
I'll take you in the front there.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if this question might be the best to ask, but I'm going to be doing film at university soon, and I'm wondering if you have any tips about trying to direct voice actors as opposed to real life actors. Like if there's a difference, like.
There's really not.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really not. If somebody says they're a voice actor and not an actor, do not pick them.
Yeah.
Because that means that they don't know what they're doing, more likely than not, and that's just a risk not worth taking. The thing about it is that acting is the core of voice acting, and you want to make sure that you have people who know how to act. So if anything, I would actually seek out people who are actors and who are actively involved in theater, as opposed to just looking for voice actors.
What
was you were talking about getting out of your comfort zone? What's your most challenging role that you didn't think you could do and then?
Do you want
anything that involves shouting? I cannot shout.
She can't.
I am from a very proper British family where we've always been taught, you don't raise your voice unless you're told to or anything like that. So when I'm told by him that I have to scream, I'm like.
I did find a great solution.
Yes.
I did find a great solution to this though.
Yes,
when she was
and because
recording.
of this, I can now shout. By the way.
Basically, as she was recording, I was like, right, do the line, and she's like, and I basically got her arm and put in a chicken wing.
Seriously.
Like, I got her arm like that,
I'm like
and
this.
I held it at first.
I'm like,
and it was like,
all right.
oh, just gently move it up, and then I was like, okay, there's the minimum strength I need. Right, do the line again. Some call it cruel, but it got results. I needed a painful scream, and that's what I got. So whatevs. Challenging for me. out of my comfort zone the most. I would say I'd say probably the opposite. When I have to be sort of like posh sort of characters, because you probably can tell I've got a very thick northern Manchester type accent.
It's hilarious hearing him try and repeat what I say. I'm like, so we're going to go and get a glass, and we're going to go on a trip down to the buggy.
Buggy?
It's not a buggy! See?
It's buggy.
Like we're going to go and
where's
have a buggy.
Where's the R in glass? Glass? Who is from Manchester like me? We're all northerners here, right? I'm a northerner. Boo! Shut up!
Southerners! Come on, Southerners!
We're about to have a riot!
You all talk wrong. Up north is much better.
At least we don't miss out words.
Up north. Going out to the shop. But yeah, so when I have to, I mean, I can do it. It's just I have to put when I'm doing voices that require me to be more sort of posh, I have to put way more thought into it, because if I lose concentration for a minute, I'll just sound all northern again, and really I go out sounding proper manky. It's just like I don't. So that's my out my comfort zone.
Sometimes he's having to talk really posh, and he says it wrong, and I'm like, no, say it like this. I have to say the word in my accent, and he has to copy me to get it right. It's brilliant.
Masco?
I think it would probably be one of the hardest things to do. It's kind of like doing anything that's it's again the screaming.
Yeah.
Again, doing anything remotely Dragon Ball related, you kind of have to scream. And fortunately, I love doing it. And the Foley thing is, me and Lanny Pator, who does Piccolo, Vegeta, one of the two stronger characters in the show. A lot of screaming. Oh, Krillin. Obviously, not because he's powering up, because he's scared as well. But
I did love doing that in the Revenge of Cooler movie, when Piccolo was blowing up the green. I played the green dude in the Revenge of Cooler movie, the Cockney. And when that screaming bit, I loved it. I don't know why. When Kaiser was just like, okay, we're at the scream now, and I'm like, yes. I loved it.
Oh yeah, the scream it's key really, because one of the other things is that a lot of people are like really kind of embarrassed to say, oh no, I don't want to scream, because I might either get the cops on me, or my parents might just think there's something wrong with me if they haven't already. And
when I moved into my new place, I literally said to my neighbours, you will hear screaming and shouting and all that from us, because I do sort of voice acting, and they're like, oh, okay. And then the next day I hear screaming and shouting from their side, but they're just, a domestic, so.
We have to think that's
carte blanche for you to do what you want.
So I just sort of do it when they're screaming.
So yeah, I just like let your parents know, or like let whoever your roommates know, just like say, oh, I'm just going to be doing scream, but eventually my mum and dad, they just go like, yeah, all right, whatever. And so just to that point, and then because if you don't, you get the whisper scream.
Oh, don't whisper scream.
God, whisper scream.
Not only does it sound awful, it's actually bad for your throat.
Yeah.
Is this a secret fight?
We're gonna fight, but I don't want to wake up my mom.
You just don't want it. You don't want it. It just sounds awful. If you think it doesn't, if you think, oh, I'll just turn the volume up. No, it just doesn't sound like a scream.
No, that just makes it worse. Because
there's a difference. There is a difference.
Yeah, exactly. So, really, that's one of the things. You can't, unless the direction in your recordings actually permits it or requires it, don't hold back. Yep. You can't, you gotta have the confidence, and you gotta have the conviction in which to do it, because otherwise, because if you worry about disturbing things, because eventually if you just end up talking, you just end up just talking like this, and eventually it doesn't actually sound like it. You sound like you're speaking into a microphone all funny.
It's basically like going back to what Mike said about when you're voice acting, to actually act. Can you imagine if in Star Trek, if Shatner whisper scream, come,
or if you want an example of really bad voice acting, you can watch the original dub of Sailor Moon. That was pretty funny. Mini Moon, no! I kid you not.
What about you, Mike? What's your uncomfort zone?
Anything that says restrained and then emotion here. Because I'm a method actor and I'm very intense when I do my acting because I get really, really into it. I don't have issues doing that. I've been doing acting and stuff like that because of my mother since I was like 7. So I kind of picked up on this whole don't be afraid to be a little bit over emotional. But when I see restrained, I'm like, ah, shit. Because then I have to sit there and I have to channel in all of that emotion and then dial it back and keep it inside. And that hurts really bad because I just want to explode with it and I don't get that opportunity. And
that could be a double entendre if you're not careful what you just said. Keep it all in and explode.
Oh, come on, it's Pride Weekend. Do you think I care? It's Pride Weekend. I'm pretty sure I'll get a couple of hey from outside if anybody hears this.
Right, any other...
I saw you.
How about you, Blue Ears? Because you've been waiting patiently for like 4 rounds.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
What inspired you to become voice actors and what sort of pushed you to sort of expand your...
Courage, the Cowardly Dog.
Really?
Straight up Courage, the Cowardly Dog. Because that show has been a favorite of mine since I was very, very little. When it first debuted on Cartoon Network, back when they had the Cartoon Fridays.
Yes!
And I remember this show so vividly because unlike every other show, all the characters had very distinct voices. Even the one-off villain characters had these amazingly distinct voices. And like LeQuack, you had the angry scientist who was firing the depressive cannonballs at people and stuff like that. Eustace and Muriel had amazing voices, and Courage himself had a voice. The things I do for love. And so it's just one of those things where it's like I fell in love with that just because of the diversity of the voices, and the character design was so brilliant, and just I saw that and I was like, I want to do that. Like I want to be a part of that. Because that got me so pumped because there was just so much to take in. And like when I see shows now, like for example, the Attack on Titan dub in my opinion is absolutely atrocious. Like the English dub is freaking terrible because half the male characters sound similar. And the thing about it is when you have voice actors, you want each character to be distinct. You want to be able to hear a voice and go, that is this character. And when you hear a voice nowadays, especially when it's a person who does multiple characters, when you listen to that voice and you're like, crap, is that Levi or is that Axel from Kingdom Hearts? Like that's a problem, you know? Voices should be distinct. I should look at a character and say, that voice is this character. And that's why I'm so pumped that I actually am getting involved in the industry now. It's because I want to bring that back. And you know, that's why I want to bring that era of Courage the Cowardly Dog, you know, level voice acting and stuff back, because that's what I want to see. So, Courage the Cowardly Dog.
And then, I suppose really it's like growing up in the UK, kind of like growing up with kind of like being in the South. So yeah, there's like loads of times for like being. I was watching TV a lot, and it's all the old '80s British cartoons like Family Nest and Penny Crayon, all those on Telebugs, and all just these things. So they have these such colourful stories, and I thought these were just like, wow, that's really cool. And then you just see like list of actors and everything. When when you're watching cartoons as a kid, it's all fantastic, and then you just see the credits. It's like, oh, real people made it. It's not real. so then you have to you find out more about how it works, and then ultimately just wanting to do it. And I would just get like an old tape recorder, and I would just do pretend radio shows and like just record myself speaking. And I'm pretty sure quite a few of you have done that.
I legitimately once used the talk boy from the Home Alone 2 movie. I got one as a kid, and I remember using it.
Yeah.
My brother had one of those, and he used to screw with my mom all the time, because what he'd do is he'd put it inside her closet, and he wasn't allowed anywhere near her bedroom. And so he'd play this videotape recording of him like talking, and it would just make all these sounds like he was rummaging through shit, and my mom would hear it and would come running down the hall like, Nicholas, you get out! God damn it, Nicholas.
But yeah, so it was like that, and then eventually Flash cartoons. No, like in the early 2000s, whenever you just
Ed's
saw
World.
On Newgrounds.
Ed's World.
Yeah.
Ed's World.
Oh, may he rest.
Dude, rest in peace, Ed. That was my entire middle school experience, was nothing but Ed's World.
Yeah, that and what Matt Wilson does for like bonus stage in high school. Yeah. Just like watching all that stuff, and then finding out when he cast a new voice for the voice of one of the characters in bonus stage, Ellie, who's now Kira Buckland, who...
Oh, I know Rena.
Yeah.
It's Rena Chan.
Yeah, Rena. Yeah. She was the one that got me into it.
Fun fact, she actually did a one-off character in a legit episode of Pokemon recently, too.
Yeah.
She actually got to voice act a character in Pokemon, so... And also a distinct amount of jealousy and disdain.
What about you?
No, but for real, good job to her because she earned that.
What about you, Tracy?
With me, my inspiration, believe it or not, was my sisters. Because I've grown up in a family full of guys, just full of them. Me and my two sisters are the only girls in my entire family.
And your mum?
Oh, yeah, but still.
I'm just saying, you're gonna pull her hair.
If you just. But anyway.
And your grandma. And your other grandma.
Stop. Anyway.
You can feel the tension.
Yeah, so I've always grown up being like a real tomboy. I didn't play with dollies or anything like that. I had cars and biker mice from Mars, stuffed turtles, everything. Awesome. But I've always ended up being like...
Don't you have an auntie?
Shall we just say of this generation, yeah? The ones around my age? I'm going to put you in the corner in a minute.
You can't. Philly said you can't do that anymore.
I don't care. But anyway, I've always been like the comedian of my family because my family, they don't like them that much. But but it was watching Lilo and Stitch was when I first got my voice acting, like, oh, I can do voices. Because we were watching Lilo and Stitch, me and my two sisters, and Stitch came on and he was all doing his thing. And I just went, oh, he sounds cute, Ohana. And they were like,
Ohana
do that
means
again.
Family.
Yeah.
Family
yeah.
means nobody votes for Mitt Romney.
Stealing my bit.
Happy to say I did that during the actual presidential election.
Yay.
But yeah, it's just, after that they were like, hey, can you do this voice as well, and this one? And it started becoming a thing that I realised I can do these voices and it's making my sisters laugh. Mm-hmm. And it filled me with such joy knowing that I was entertaining my family using these voices. And then when I realised, people do it on the internet, and I was like, hey, I can make other people laugh too. So I just carried on from there, and I found him, and stuff happened, and now I'm with like the greatest abridgers in the world, and yay! So you know what? You're always going to start off small. You may think you're little now, but just keep on building, and you can get right up there. You may not get there fast, but you may get there.
It took me 3.5 years.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Straight up, you start with like 5 people, and I'm going to tell you something. The most valuable people in your rise to wherever you're hoping to go are going to be the people who are going to be there from the beginning. Mm-hmm. I have people who still come into my stream, people I have known, no joke, since I started doing this when I had 10 subscribers on YouTube. And these people still come to my streams. They still greet me every time with the most abundant enthusiasm I have ever seen. And those people are the people who will matter most to you. Because you can focus on getting big, and that's a fine goal to shoot for if that's what you want, but never forget those people who helped get you there. Never forget that the only reason you are where you are because of the people who helped you get there.
Exactly.
So always remember that and never lose sight of that, because those are the people who will matter most.
Exactly. I mean, the first abridged episode I ever did, I did with a couple of friends, and it was awful. I'm not going to say it was absolutely diabolical. I look back on it, I still have it saved on my old YouTube channel. I go back to it and go, what is that? But I've met these guys, and I've had Masako help me out. He gave me my first proper mic. He just went up there and went, here, have it. And I was like...
And it wasn't like a random mic, it was a Samsung...
A Samsung CO1U, okay? And that's a pretty good mic to start with. And then obviously...
No, and all the gear as well, like, he gave like a shock filter and all that stuff.
And I've had of X, Massako, Little Karibo, who, yes, they don't seem like celebrities to me anymore, they're like my best friends.
Yep.
Because they have helped me out so much, and without them, I would not be here in front of you guys talking to you about all my experiences and stuff. So, and never be afraid to ask people for help, because yes, we might be busy or whatever, and we'll just say, sorry dude, I'm a bit busy. But if we can give advice, we will. And so just yay! Your turn.
Okay. I know you've got an auntie. But yeah, I never actually. It was back when did I start doing GX? Like 2008. 8 maybe. Yeah, because before then I used to do fan fictions and Yu-Gi-Oh deck videos, and that was kind of my internet involvement. Nerd. And then Shady Vox, who I would hang out with at my local Yu-Gi-Oh club, I got him into a bridging. I said, oh yeah, you should look at Little Creebo's Yu-Gi-Oh bridge and all that, and he went on it, and he then came back to me a few weeks later. So I'm gonna do a Yu-Gi-Oh GX bridge. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. So I'm not bothered. And so he did. It was just he was gonna do it with another guy, and he never did. And he showed it me because he just wanted me to see it, and I was like, what do you think? And I went, it's pretty awful. I was like, is it? I went, yeah, it's crud, mate. It's not. I mean, there was 1 or 2 bits I found funny, but it's not that great. And then he was staying at mine one night, and I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm just doing episode 2. And the thing is, he never watched GX. He wasn't really a fan of it like I was. And he's like, oh, what do you reckon Cyrus should say here? And I was like, oh, well, maybe I can't do the voice. My throat is knackered. Aww. But I can't. This new job I mentioned is one of them. I have to. There's a character I have to literally scream at people, and I can't do Cyrus. That's right at the back of the.
Cyrus is my favorite.
I know, but it's right at the back of the throat where Cyrus comes from, and that's what hurts. Anyway, I basically said, oh, Cyrus would say this, and I did a line as Cyrus, and he was just like, it's actually really good that. I like the voice as well. Do you want to do that? Do you want to do that line? And I did the same with Crowler and Alexis and this, that, and the other. And he's like, you do these voices and I'll record it, and I did, and I was there as I was doing it. I was like thinking, I really like this sort of performing and doing these voices and all that. And then the episode was better in my opinion, and it got a better reception than the first one did. And he asked me to do it, and then I just kind of spiraled from there really, and spiraled upwards, not downwards. I know. I say upwards. And
say cork screwed up.
Yeah, yes, one of those stairways. So yeah, that's me. Want to use can pick. I don't like pick.
Questions.
I just feel like if I pick, everyone who I didn't pick is just like, you who do you think you are, you chubby bastard?
Who did you pick?
The guy in the Rainbow Dash t-shirt. No. Yeah.
That's the problem with saying the guy in the Rainbow Dash t-shirt, because you're like,
do you know
20 guys in here with the rainbow? There's one there. I can literally see one there.
No, he was in Wonderbolt gear.
2
in the back.
Oh, okay.
That is.
Yeah.
So, have you ever done theatre acting or theatre work?
Yeah. My father, my father was a news reporter for several years, and so I learned a lot about dictation from him. I learned how to read properly. I learned how to enunciate from him. My mother was a stage actress for 15 years solid, and I used to go to her performances all the time. I would watch her rehearse. I would learn from them. And so while I wasn't directly involved, I learned a great deal from them. It's how I developed the method style of acting that I use now for when I do voice acting and acting in general. As for theater performances, mostly a bunch of school productions, and that's what I stick to because that's just good exposure. That's good. That's a good place to learn, and more importantly, it's a lot less strenuous than the actual world, but you still get the same type of pressure that you're going to get, just on a slightly lessened scale. That way, when you do actually take the leap and go into actual theater outside of a school setting, you know what to expect and you can kind of brace yourself for that. So yeah, no, I grew up around that stuff, and I'm very thankful that I did, because that's been an absolutely invaluable asset to me throughout this entire experience. So yeah, loads.
Yeah. When I was like really little, I was part of like an kind of a local kind of child acting group. We would like do improv and just drama. It was like a local drama group, and sometimes we would do contests at local organised theatre events, and we would do fairly well, and I did that until I was 13. And then after that, I had a little bit of a spell when I wasn't doing it. Then I went back and joined my local thespian group. So we would like do the annual pantomimes nearby where I live, and I got to play that about like 3 or 4 times. So just got to play a mixture of characters. And then one year I saw there was a role open for the bad guy, because online I have been stereotyped as doing good guy characters, all kind of hero characters, because that's what my voice archetype is based around.
Yeah.
And this time, it was...
Oh,
okay.
Masako, what are you doing?
It's okay, yep.
Just don't touch
Breaking everything.
Don't cross the stream. But, I got the chance to audition to play a bad guy, so I got to play the big bad in the panto. And that was great, just because really, the kids love the bad guy, really.
Bad guys are the coolest.
They love to hate them.
Love the bad guys.
Yeah, so I got to play this in, it was sort of Jack and the Beanstalk, so playing him in that, and it just, you have to be spontaneous, because again, in panto, lots of things can happen. So, yeah, sometimes one person forgets to, like, say a line, or you forget a line, or sometimes the technical staff tend to just play pranks on you. And that does happen, because you do 8 or 9 shows, and eventually you need something to spice it up. And one of them forgot to put my wig on properly, and it fell off. So for the rest of the time I came on stage that night, all the kids were just shouting, "Baldy!" So I had to kind of shout through that. So it was a good example of doing a different type of voice or acting, as well as dealing with something, and you have to think on your feet. So you have to kind of adapt. So yeah, I've had a range of mixture there.
Another thing too, just really quick, when you are performing in any modicum, especially live performances, when you screw up, do not try to backpedal. Do not stop and go, hold on, can I do that again? Power through it. Because that's the big thing. A lot of people, their initial instinct when they screw up a line is to stop, backpedal. Can I do that again? No, work through it. Just keep going. If you fumble, make the next line better and don't fumble from then on. And that's really the big, like, I know that sounds terrifying, but trust me, it helps. Because then people aren't going to look at your screw up. They're going to be like, wow, you recovered really well from that. Or, you know, oh my God, she really, like, she could have botched that, but she saved that big time and that still went over well. Like, don't stop.
What about you, Tracy?
I haven't really done any, like, proper theatre stuff. I did drama in school. And, I still enjoy, you know, as I'm going around, mucking around with my friends, I enjoy literally acting like an idiot. Yep. So I'll be going around, mucking around with my friends, and I'll be like, you know, doing all kinds of stuff. It's fun to just do it in real life. I mean, I do want to look into doing, like, some proper theatre stuff at some point, but it's a case of finding it around my full-time job, which is really difficult. But only one thing I can say about it is improv. In anything you do, you should do improv. Anything. When someone asks you to say a line, don't just stick to their line. You know, add a few bits of your own interest in that as well. You know, just add a little bit of flair, because 9 times out of 10, they will take one of your improv lines.
Best example, Robin Williams as Genie.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Most of that was pretty much all improv.
Yes.
That is straight up another thing, and I think I speak for everybody here when I say this. Robin Williams is the prime example of what it means to be a good actor and voice actor in general. This is a man who dedicated his life to his craft as a comedian, as an actor, as a voice actor. And if he showed me anything, especially because we all grew up on that stuff. You know? I remember of the 3 Disney movies that I absolutely adored, those being Aladdin, Lion King, and Little Mermaid, if I had to default to one, I dove for Aladdin. And that's because of Robin Williams, because he put so much life into a character. He was the embodiment of each character that he did. When you looked at that, you didn't just go, oh, that's Robin Williams playing Genie. No, you said that was Genie. When you heard that voice, you were like, that was Genie. When you saw Robin Williams, you were like, holy crap, it's Genie.
You know, it was a big deal when they came to, I remember seeing the adverts for Aladdin 3, and one of the hooks of Aladdin 3 was that Robin Williams was playing Genie. They actually said, I remember all the adverts saying, you know, oh, and now Robin Williams returns as Genie. And it's just clips of Robin Williams playing Genie. It's like, he was that good at the role and he brought that much to it. That's all they needed to say. It's like, yeah, this film has got Robin Williams again as Genie. Like, that made me want to go see. I don't know about anyone else, but when I saw the advert, I was like, oh, Robin Williams is Genie again. Oh, hell yeah.
There's actually a really interesting story behind why he wasn't in the second movie, too.
Really? I never seen that.
The reason being was because during the first movie, Robin Williams specifically told Disney, do not advertise this as Genie the movie. I want this to be centralized around the main character, which is Aladdin. What Disney did was they advertised the crap out of Genie. They made him a really big face of the movie promotionally.
Yeah, even if you look at the cover, it's like the Genie
is like half the cover, And because he was a huge hook, and that was good marketing because a lot of people went to see it, but he was like, told you not to do that. And so he bowed out for the second movie because he told them, you know, I don't want to do this. I told you guys not to do that last time. They actually paid him, in addition to his stipend, they gave him an original Picasso to do the third movie.
Really?
They gave him an original Picasso to come back and do the third movie, and that was the stipulation under which he did the third movie.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Robin
Williams.
Seriously, one of the most prolific people in the world, and he will be greatly missed. So, fists up for Robin, yeah?
A gift to the world. He was a gift to everything.
He's not going to be forgotten. Like, that's straight up.
No way.
Like,
you can never forget. No.
He, like 100 years down the line, guarantee you, people are going to look back and be like, so let me tell you about Robin Williams.
Yeah. As far as my, it's weird going from Robin Williams to my theatre acting. I've never actually done any sort of, my family's been very showbiz orientated for a while. Like my mum was a professional stage dancer, and my dad used to be a roadie for. Anyone ever heard of the Black Abbots? The Russ Abbott's comedy tour group. He was a roadie for the Black Abbots. So that's how they actually met at the North Pier in Blackpool when they were all both performing there. But like I said, my mum would perform at the Grand Theatre a lot, and she then went into choreography at other pantomimes. I think she did one with Jim Davidson in Rill, a couple of them. So I was going to all these different theatres and going backstage and seeing all that. And but I did, like I say, like Mike, it was the same with me. It was school plays mainly that I would get involved with. As soon as a school play came on, I was like, I want to do a school play. In fact, I remember we did a school play of Joseph's Amazing Technical Dreamcoat because it was a Catholic school. And I was there was only literally 2 boys in the entire school that actually were in that piece. One was a year 11 who played the dad, and there was me in year 8, and that was it. Everyone else was played by girls, and I played Benjamin, the younger brother, and then I did perform on stage for, I was with a dance group as well called Tiptoes, and we did a dance, that was all dancing though, but I performed at the Grand Theatre and the Opera House with different shows. But then as far as actual acting, the closest I've really come is this job I do now, so yeah. So, question?
You've been wanting to answer one for ages. So.
Just got a couple. First one is, do you have any tips on how to like modulate your voice and maintain it? Like for instance, your Goku one or something like that.
Okay. Well, I usually have a kind of an idea about what to do with that kind of thing, because quite a lot of the time, if you're doing like a big recording session, you might slip. So obviously, with the voice of Goku, I have to not only up the voice, but I also have to put on an American accent, because I can't just do a British accent because it just doesn't sound right. So, I mean, I sort of did, because there was an example in episode 23 of BBC Rage where I had to play Goku as possessed by Captain Ginyu, who's refined. So you would think it would be easy for me to just do Goku in my in my normal accent. It was not. It was really tough. Just trying to like up the tone and then keep the refined nature. It took forever to get that down. It took like 2 sessions just before we could even get something decent. Yeah. But I would say that if you were like thinking of something to keep your kind of voice consistent, is that I would say focus as you're developing the character, one line you know you can do. Like for Goku, I just go like, "Hey guys, I'm Goku." So I would just like say that. And if I feel like myself slipping out of the voice, I just say that again, and that kind of gets me back in again. So it's what I like to call a trigger line. So it's kind of like gives you a bit of a trigger to kind of get back into. It recalibrates your voice again. So I would say have 1 or 2 lines you know you can do, and consistently, or you remember how you do it, and then you can just start again. So that's what I would say.
The 2 things that I was going to say was 1, trigger lines. If with any voice that I have that I know I need to do, and I will say that line first, and I'll be like, oh, that's it. Like with Asahina, the way I get to her is like, hi, I'm Aoi Asahina, and that's it. I'm in her voice. Whereas the only other thing I could ever say to anybody who wants to get to a certain voice is practice. Practice the hell out of it. Listen to it, copy it, listen to what you've just done. Go, oh, I need to change that a bit. Just practice, practice.
I would actually recommend studying languages, accents, big time. Because the biggest gift you can do for yourself if you want to like widen your vocal range and just your ability as a voice actor in general, study accents, different languages, the way they talk, the different fluctuations in their voices, and then try to mimic those to a certain degree and figure out like you know, just like how they pronounce certain words, certain syllables, and then just adapt that and learn how to stay in that. Because then when you're developing voices, you have a much wider range of stuff to pull from. And that way, if you ever lose track of that, again, trigger words and the like, you can do that with accents too. So if you lose your accent halfway through, you can stop, go back, okay, now how does that accent start? Trigger word for that, and then just go back into it. So my advice, trigger words obviously, but also study accents, just various accents from all over the world.
I'm gonna paraphrase something I learned from a Kyle Bear panel last year or year before, where he basically said one of the ways he practices, he'll just be like reading a magazine or a book or something, and he'll just start doing a voice while reading it out loud. And he says it's a great way to keep yourself practiced and to keep a voice more natural. That's how I do it. Sometimes I'll just start talking to myself in a certain voice just to remember how it sounds. And it's just a case of I've been working like alone sometimes and just like doing my jazz voice like this and just talking and nothing. And then someone goes, Tom, what are you doing? It's like, Tum-de-dum-tum, cleaning, not doing silly voices. But yeah, if you're ever just alone and you're reading and you have a voice you want to practice, just read out loud doing that voice. So not only are you learning to keep that voice more natural, but you're learning how to do that voice while reading off a page, and you're obviously like you're reading off a script. So that's something I learned from a Kyle Bear panel at Alcon last year, I think it was.
Yeah. And that's why I do dramatic readings, is because that right there is a primary source of just constant practice. When I find something I want to read, because like I have like well over 100 readings I've never released because they're shit. They're bad. They're really bad. And I mean that story's bad and I'm bad. But anyways, the things I've read. You know, you wake up some mornings and you regret everything, and then you remember this and you don't. But for real, just I mean, dramatic readings for me, like those are a big means of practice for me. So I mean, again, best tip right there, just read stuff aloud.
Also, may sound weird, singing. You know, anytime you can get some singing in, yeah. No.
Sing anyway.
No, sing anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
No joke.
What did we say before? Yeah. No shame.
Yeah.
No shame.
When I warm up, because like I have a naturally good lower register, you know.
I can get down into here and mimic Patrick Warburton a little bit.
Listen up, people.
You know, because we're not people.
Talk like this.
I'm gonna knock your ass
I'm
off.
completely the opposite.
Okay, people, listen up.
All right, people, listen up.
Hey.
But I mean, you know, I have a naturally good lower register. My upper register, not so much. So I sing to warm myself up and sacrifice that lower register to get that higher register. So if people tell you don't sing, sing anyways, because it's a fantastic way to warm up and actually get into that register that you want to use.
Did no one see me yesterday handing out cards? And I had one last card. I just started singing a modded version of One Day More, I think it was.
Yeah,
It's like, who wants this last card? Yeah, so just sing, and if people say, shut up, just go,
Second one is a case of like my segues from the accent. Have you ever tried a proper haggis yet since you came to Britain?
Have I tried a proper haggis then, huh?
Aye, proper haggis and
No.
proper
I mean, Scotland though.
Not a bit then.
Have you been to Scotland?
Scotland, is it?
You've never been to Scotland?
Are you on a fight then, mate?
I am ready.
Oh, my shit, fucking
I was getting ready to gut bust him then.
Look at you in your little fancy outfit.
But the thing is,
looking like
in
a
Scotland-
stiffer white dick than your monument.
In Scotland, they'll have a fight, but then after the fight, you'll be best mates. It's like, oh, mate, you threw a good one there, mate.
You knocked me tooth.
You took me tooth out.
My teeth are gone.
I tell you what, that joke you said about my Aunt Bessie was actually pretty funny. I know. Yeah. I love Scotland. Let's never go there, though. Do you have a question? What were we talking about? We just got into a fight, and then
we literally just acted out the entire.
It was literally just haggis, fight. That's Scotland. There you go. There you go. Haggis,
See what
Scotland.
we say about acting?
This gentleman has been holding this person has been holding their hand up for ages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
There was a while ago you did a dramatic reading that pretty much broke you. I'm not going to mention it by name.
Oh, was it patty cake?
No, it was to do with schooling.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, I'm just wondering if you guys have ever worked with material that was either so funny or just so damn terrible that you just couldn't bring, like, you had to go away.
All the time! Did I not just say the things I have read? I gotta tell you, the hardest thing to do is a cold read. And like the hardest thing, especially when it comes to really comic or really disturbing material. Because me, it's like, I kind of was involved in that era of 4chan B-tards during like 2006 who thought they were all that. So I saw like all the gore and nasty stuff and just all the questionable material that most people would be like, I'm just kind of like, whatever. I've seen it all before. And so I think the hardest part for me though is like, trying to stay in character through a lot of this. Because it's so hard. You just want to break down and be like, what? Like, what possesses you to write this, man? Oh, yeah. But I mean, like, I think the funniest thing I've ever done was somebody had emailed me a script, and it wasn't for anything in particular, just like, hey, I'd love it to hear you try this. And I'm just like, okay, well, send me a script. And they sent me this script of a hentai that Dan Green had done.
Oh, the chicken.
A chicken, cluck now! Cluck like a chicken! Cluck like a chicken!
I did that, and I couldn't go more than 5 minutes, or like 5 minutes or so before I just put it down and said, I can't. I can't, this is too absurd. Although, fun part is that I listening to that over and over, I did manage to finally get kind of a Dan Green register down. So hearing him scream, now cluck, cluck like a chicken. Looks like the chicken just laid an egg. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
You sound like Crispin Freeman.
No, I've never had anything really that's sort of made me like that.
I've had.
Did you say it's because you wrote some of it?
Yeah. I've had one thing. Is I tend to like when people come up to me and ask me to do a voice for something they want, like they're a bridge series or whatever. Generally, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, yeah, right then, why not? You know, it can't hurt. I had this one where after I watched the first episode, I had to graciously decline because they didn't put it in the script, but all the way through it, there were so many references to other people's shows and other people's stuff that's on the internet, including that guy with the glasses. They had literally had a clip of his stuff put in it. And I said, I'm sorry about this, but I can't be involved in something which is basically using other people's stuff without their permission. So I was like, if you're going to use other people's references in your stuff, you kind of at least need to ask them for permission or at least mention them in the bottom of the thing. And I graciously declined it after that. So for the people of you out there, you know, if you're going to use other people's references and stuff, ask first. Okay? What?
What are you looking at me for? What are you pointing at me? Ask me.
I'm trying to tell
Ask
you.
me personally.
I'm making you stop because you're acting like a child.
He's recording me! I've just been giving smack to this guy with a camera for like 2 minutes.
He's been mouthing, I will effing kill you to the camera that this man's using the entire time.
I could see it out the corner of my eyes, so I was like, stop. I have great peripheral.
Well, naturally, with all the Team 4 stuff I record for, so I see the script first, and I usually think, oh, that's really good. And most of the time, I can just carry through it. But there have been some lines where I've had to record for, and I just kind of just go like, oh.
And you'd take a minute.
There are times I've corpsed many times. It's like it's for the Dead Zone bridge when we were recording for it, and it was the line.
Now let's go home. It's almost time for Dick Fest.
And it's like, the thing is though, it's just because, the context before that is because Goku uses the term "linner" between lunch and dinner. So he says, "But right before dinner, love me some linner though." So it'd be that. So it's between dinner and breakfast. Breakfast. But I didn't get that at first. So I was thinking, what the hell is Goku saying? And
I thought it was some kind of crazy orgy about to happen.
Well, you know, I'm just saying it is Manchester Pride. Breakfast!
It's like the last.
I'm home!
This was the like mouth present.
But this was like the last line in the movie, and I was thinking, and I didn't get that, so I corpsed 3 or 4 times before I could even get a decent take.
Like a straight face out of it.
And Kaiser was just out in the record because we use Skype to record, and he could listen to me recording, and he just go like, "Are you okay, dude?" And I was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm going, Yeah, I'll be fine. and then I just keep doing it. He says, "Just take your time, man." And I think I could hear him, and I was almost like, "You're enjoying. You're laughing at this, aren't you?" And actually, I did. I said, "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" He went, "No." It's like, and then every time I would because again my accent would slip sometimes, and it did when I would say, "Gohan, I'll tackle Vegeta on my own," and I'd say Vegeta instead of Vegeta, and he would just keep saying, "You said it again." That's why in the second season, when Goku says he's supposed to say Frieza, Goku refers to him as Freezer, and that's why. It's not because freezers contain food, although that would be a good and perfectly plausible.
See, you've ruined it now. You could have just totally said, "Yeah, that's why," because it's freezer contains food. No, it's because I can't say freezer properly.
No, that was the reason. They actually told me that properly, but I already knew. So they were just kind of trolling me. Just kind of like say, "Yeah, it's because Masako can't hold his accent properly." But it's funny. But yeah, there have been many times where a Goku line has been just so funny that I just had to kind of stop. Takes me 10 minutes to recover.
I saw a hand pop up right at the back there. Yeah, you, the pink shirt?
What has been your favourite voice to do so far and why?
In abridged terms, probably Crowler, just because it's a really funny voice. Again, I can't do it because it's a back of the throat one, and I regret that. But I think one of my favourite characters to play in sort of general voice acting is, anyone here a fan of Bleach?
Yeah.
There was like a...
Terrible.
Yeah, it's not a great
I hate Bleach.
The Azure Crow, he wanted to do a fandom clip of the final fight in the Hellverse movie thing that came out. That one shot of the Hellverse movie. And he wanted me to just play the villain for the fight scene, and I don't know, I listened to that and I just think, that's me doing that, and I just, because I'm like the anti of Masako. I'm more suited for playing villains because I have a sort of natural, just sort of this more deeper tone, and
he's really mean to me.
And I'm just mean in general. Yeah. And as far as actual voice acting, that's probably one of my proudest personal ones to do, just because it was me trying to actually do some sort of actual voice acting, and so yeah.
I think the one that I enjoy doing the most. Who here's seen Filero's Drat, Danganronpa abridged? Nobody? Really?
I got Filero's not there.
Wow. Okay. No, you need to see it. But
it's good actually.
It's a character in that called Aoi Asahina, and she's obsessed with donuts, and I love her to pieces.
Who has seen Danganronpa?
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
Okay,
there we go. So
if you've not seen Danganronpa, by the way, look it up.
Yeah,
it's actually very
definitely.
much worth it. It's a PSP game, which I think is already stateside or is coming stateside for the Vita as well.
Yeah, it has.
I think
It has?
It has, yeah. But I play her in the abridged series, and she is nuts, like seriously insane. So almost every single line of hers that I do, I just ad-lib the crap out of her, and I seriously enjoy it. In the first episode, I ad-libbed a massive chunk just obsessing over donuts, and he actually put the whole thing in the background so you could hear it throughout the whole. I was like, it's brilliant. But the character that I am the most proud of out of everything is Blair from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, because I feel with her, I actually, like you said at one point in it, during the duel, it actually sounded like I could be an official dub, and I was truly proud of that, and I was like, so yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, I could just like.
You're wearing a Goku T-shirt, man. Let's not dance around.
Well, that
it's quite apparent, Richard.
Well, no. That obviously that is one of the answers. But this was like I did really loads of fan dubs like when I was starting out, and one of them was basically. I was doing a fan dub of Sosei no Aquarion, and this was kind of one of the earlier ones, and it was like the final episode, and I was playing the character of Sirius as one of the main characters' brothers, and just playing that in a deeper register, and it's kind of like a culmination of all these things. Oh no! Wait. This one was even better. It was an actual clip of a Super Sentai of Japanese Power Rangers.
Which one?
Magi Ranger.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, no, but there was one scene that I got to voice in when Solaris Knight or Magi Shine comes in, and he has this really cool transformation sequence and pretty much just kicks everyone's ass.
Yeah.
And it was not only one of those really cool things, because it included doing Foley, screaming, attack sounds.
I like that one we did.
Those ones. But
I was Green Ranger.
Yeah.
My favourite, Tommy.
Yeah,
Dragon Ranger, FTW.
And I was Red Ranger in that, and we actually fought.
And I was Ryuka.
Yeah.
Ryota.
So I got to do that, and that was really fun, because it encompassed everything I wanted to do. And then I got a chance to do that same clip 5 years later, and just really got to have another go at it. And it was like a callback to one of the earlier moments in my progression through voice acting. So that was something I was really proud, because it was just like, now pay attention. This is how you should fight. So it was kind of like doing the cool, calm kind of, I got this. I know what to do. Just the confident hero.
Yeah.
So instead of just playing the lucky, plucky hero. So I actually got to do
the confident badass who knows he's going to win. He's like,
or the kind of like in like high school host club, the guy Kyoya. So pretty much just playing the cool Bishona guy.
Oh, you know Kamen Rider Meteor from Forza?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You and I are going to be really good friends after this. I got a good feeling. It's really nice to find other people who watch Kamen Rider and Super Sentai.
Yeah.
Find them in the pub.
Huh?
Find them in the pub.
Oh, I have a double belt.
Ooh.
I'll tell you about that later. I'm proud of a lot of the voices I've done, the biggest of which being Capulet from the thing I'm doing, but I don't want to do that one because that's not my favorite voice. I'm mildly ashamed that I can do this voice, but I love it nonetheless, and it goes a little something like this.
No one works like Gaston makes it work like Gaston. Gyrating, my he's so fly, Dad Gaston.
No shame.
No shame.
That is the catchphrase of this panel. Is no shame.
Out of batteries.
Oh, you're out of batteries.
Oh.
Right. Any other questions?
Oh.
Oh, I saw your hand up first.
Well, thanks to a certain one of you, I'm starting to become a voice actor. I'm starting to get into it.
You can tell us which one, or we're going to take it to a game.
Are we going to have to fight over it?
Can we fight? Is it Mike?
I won't.
It's totally me.
It's totally Mike.
Totally me.
Much
Anyway,
better.
carry on. Sorry.
I'm
Yeah.
already voicing for a few object shows and stuff like that. My question is, what advice do you have to make people more aware of you as a voice actor? What advice do you
Put yourself out there, straight up. Post
demo reel.
If you find like if demo reel works on SoundCloud, if you find like some kind of feedback thread on a forum for voice acting and stuff like that, Voice Acting Alliance.
Yeah, I was about to say
Voice Acting Alliance is a really good place for that. Additionally, what I would highly recommend doing is there are these sites called Voice123 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's $30. I don't know what the conversion is over here. It might be more, might be less.
I think it's
about £20.
I think it's like 20 quid. I think there are cheaper ones, but yeah, that's essentially.
What Voice 123 does is it sends you a bunch of scripts that you can just audition for and then send them back. And it's basically like a freelance casting agency. And if you want to like get involved and really get yourself out there, that is what I'd recommend, because that is a great way to not only get a lot of practice in, but to get exposure, to get connections, which is really huge, because that's another part of the game is networking. And it's very difficult to network at times. But the easiest way to network, honestly, is to put yourself out there, because that way people will know who you are. And even if you screw up, people will know who you are in that moment. And that way, as you improve, as you get better, people will look back and go, I remember that guy. And then word of mouth will spread.
Cons like this are great for networking. I know a guy, I won't say his name, but he goes to conventions more or less to network. I mean, it's great to hang out with him and stuff. It's like, oh, how you doing? It's like, yeah, okay. And but he more or less goes to all the booths, all the panels with like big voice actors or producers on it, and he just networks himself. And he's actually he's actually been in a few episodes of Pokemon, voice acting. He's done his own stuff, and it's all through networking. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying he goes to conventions for the primary purpose.
He has a business state
to network. Yeah, exactly.
It's business.
And I can't fault him for it. That's what I'm just saying. That's why he goes to conventions, is to network, and he's got a lot to show for it as well.
Oh yeah, and it's not a bad thing too. It's a smart thing to do. Not at all. And he's using his time in the most efficient way possible, and that's good, especially when that kind of thing pans out, because people will know who you are. So
yeah, that's what you want.
Definitely kudos to him.
Definitely. Any other questions? Or?
Yeah.
That's what you first.
Yeah. Hi. Stand up.
Oh, can't get a voice out now.
Sorry, don't worry about it. You're fine.
Have you seen any actors that play badly, but you really enjoyed their terribleness?
Hayden Christensen, episode 3.
Yeah! I'm gonna piggyback on that answer.
I love Hayden Christensen as an actor because he is a brilliantly good actor. But episode 3 was frickin' terrible. And I will never forget sitting in that theater and getting up and walking away as soon as I heard, "I will kill you, my master!" I stood up. My mother was asleep in the chair next to me. I stood up and left, and she came out after the movie had finished like, "Where the hell did you go?" And I'm like, I couldn't do it, Mom. I'm sorry. So, Hayden Christensen. As for voice acting, oh God. I wouldn't say bad per se, but really funny because they were allowed to do whatever they want. The English dub of Ghost Stories.
Yes.
That basically, with this anime, the entire voice acting crew was allowed to go hog wild. The script is so bad that they were just like, you know what? Voice whatever you want. And it is the most hysterical thing in the world because these people took these characters in this supposedly serious anime and just made it the most hysterical nonsense in the world. And it's really offensive too, that's the best part. One of the characters is like a Bible thumper and she's just like, "Oh, they died. Are you sure you don't want to repent to your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?" Oh my God, but yeah, so
sounds like an actual official abridged. Like someone took it and officially abridged it.
It might as well have been. Yeah, it was fantastic. Favorite line though. I think this was Dan Green who did this too. "Look out! She's a ghost and a bitch." I'm telling you, look up the English dub of Ghost Stories. There's a 3-parter on YouTube that's just highlights from the entire series, and it's so funny. So yeah, there you go.
I suppose really, I came across this because I was doing research for a review I was doing, and it was a kind of a Hong Kong produced dub by a guy called Joseph Lai, and it's this thing called Protectors of Universe, and it's just. What it was is that Joseph Lai he does this for kung fu films as well. He splices 2 films that have nothing to do with each other and somehow, or some cases 3, and puts them into one single movie. So somehow they all have these connections, even though they don't usually actually...
Digimon the movie!
Didn't they like chop up 4 different movies and just ship that off to America?
It was like the first... it was like 3 or 4 movies.
Like
3 or 4 movies.
Oh. But now, this one with Protectors of the Universe, it's just, you go look at it, it was so terrible because it was made in Korea. It was animated in Korea, and like from the anime in the 70s. But then it was redubbed in 1995, and I listened to this dub because it was distributed by an Australian company. So it was a dub, a DVD from 2007. So there was so much gap. And then you look at this, and the dub is so bad. It's like to the point. It's like, I am now the evil prince of the world, Alfred. It's like, and it's like, Alfred, you are disappointed for the last time. It's like, and it's like this evil bald blue guy, and he's just called Alfred. and then Ken. He is the son of General Larry. And it's just like General Larry. All these names, and then it's just like, and then oh my god, this dub is just so terrible. But it's so
His name
funny.
is feared throughout the world as Larry.
And naturally, there's like 3 kids. No, one of the robots' name is Mark. It's like, now hold on there, Mark is quite correct. And then you just see, and then the guy, the robot just looks so smug. He's just like, and it's just, it's so hilarious within 30 seconds, and it goes on for 70 minutes, and it's just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
That reminds me of Speed. Have you guys ever watched Speed Racer, like the actual English dub of that? I kid you not, there is an episode called The Car Hater. And the entire, this is great, the entire episode revolves around this really crotchety old dude riding a horse who hates cars because his son died in a car accident. And so he rides onto a racetrack, whipping the hoods of the cars, going by, and then all of a sudden these cars pile up, a bunch of people die, and he goes, that takes care of some cars. And I was like, there's no way you're actually doing this. And so I sat here watching this entire episode, unable to contain myself, and then it gets to the end, and you get the most awkward shot in the entire episode. And the daughter's just sitting up in bed, and the dad walks in after supposedly being in jail for like 2 months after killing X amount of people in car races. And he just looks at her, and very quickly, like milliseconds between saying anything, it's just, Papa, my daughter! And just everything. That was my childhood, and I have the entire thing, and I love it to death. It's just,
I honestly can't think of anything.
So, a question or? Oh.
Hi, I'm from the Netherlands, and I'm a little worried about how I can grow as an actor, a voice actor, if there's a limit to that because of my location.
There's never usually a, because going back to that Kylie Bear panel, someone asked like, oh, because a lot of people go to like New York or Canada or California for stuff like that, for voice acting. So how can I get into voice acting? Cal's answer to that was basically, don't necessarily aim for like, oh, I want to be in this anime and I want to be an anime voice actor. Look into other things. Look into commercial work, into a radio, go to a local radio station, looking at doing stuff like that. Just anything to sort of get your voice out there. There's always jobs, no matter what country you're in, that it might not necessarily be anime, but there'll definitely be like a local radio station, or there might be a company that like does voiceovers for commercials or anything like that. So it's always best to keep your options more wider than just saying, I want to be a voice actor for this media, and I will not do anything else other than, I will only do anime features, or I'll only do games, or I'll only do, if someone comes up to you and goes, oh, there's this radio station that are looking for, people to do 20-second ads, go, okay, I'm going to try and do 20-second ads, I'll give that a go. So yeah, you should never feel that you should be restricted by what country you're from or what area you're from.
Especially with the internet nowadays.
Exactly, yeah. Especially
with the internet. I mean, locale is definitely a big thing, and if you get to a point where you have outgrown the area that you're in, like I'm looking to move at the end of the year, which is really nice because I've been building towards that for the past 2 years. And the thing about it is that you can be fine where you are starting out. You shouldn't move at the beginning of your career, because that is the worst thing you can do for yourself. Work with what you have and where you're at, and just kind of build from there. And then once you've reached that point where you can say with the utmost certainty, I have outgrown what I am capable of doing here. I need to move to continue my progress, then move. But especially with the internet, just, you know, at your beck and call, it is very easy to get involved with things. Like he said, never limit yourself to be like an anime voice actor. And actually, Kathy Westluck said this too, which is very important information. I'm glad I heard it when I did. I mean, like voiceover work in general, like if you just want to be an anime voice actor, you're not going to eat. Like straight up, those guys don't get paid a lot. Voice actors in general don't get paid a terrible amount unless they are extremely good and they're extremely versatile and they have that ability to go from doing voiceovers and radio stuff to games and anime and actual acting.
I'll tell you where Kyle actually said the money is for him is in video games for doing Street Fighter, because they spend nearly as much, if not more, on a video game budget nowadays, and some movies pay to make a movie. So he says video game voice acting is probably his biggest form of income.
Yeah.
You guys, anything else?
No, anything else to add?
You guys were good on that?
Because I think that's
me and
all
Mike
the time we
tag
have.
team that answer.
That's it?
I think
yes.
No, I think
do we have? How long do we have? Sorry.
That's it. That's all the time we have.
Oh, that's it. Never mind.
So go.
Thank you.
Thank you and good night.